Test, test, test. All right, here we go.
Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Sets us free from all lack or limitation. Sets us free to realize who we can be. We are made in the image and the likeness of God. Spirit calls, so stand up and believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Sets us free from all lack or limitation. Sets us free to realize who we can be. We are made in the image and the likeness of God. Spirit calls, so stand up and believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Spirit calls, sing I believe. Spirit calls, come up higher. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, Spirit calls, Spirit calls. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Spirit calls, Spirit calls, Spirit calls. Love lifts us high and sets us free. Lifts us high and sets us free. Lifts us high and sets us free.
Thank you, musicians, and Sandra, and Nikki, and Chris. Thank you guys so much. I missed you guys. Yeah, it's good to be back. We have a friend. So since Danna was talking today on, we're not in Kansas, I thought I'd bring Toto. But she's not Toto. And anyway, so this is Bindi. And I'm just going to say a little bit about it, and I'll put her back so I can concentrate on what I'm doing here. But I brought her back from Kansas City. We had adopted or made arrangements before I even went to go for the puppy, and then find out that she was in Oklahoma City, which was closed. Anyways, I tell everybody this is my commitment to self-care. But I don't know that it's my care or her care, because it seems more about her than it does about myself. But that's okay. It's really good to have some margin and have something that kind of gets me out of my head more and into the heart of things. So she is an absolute joy. She's eight weeks old and is every bit a puppy. And any tips you have on puppies or raising, it's been a while since I've had a dog and a long time since I had a puppy. So any tips you guys have, greatly appreciate it. So anyways, all right, well, welcome to Unity Center of North Spokane. I'm Jeff Tawney. I'm the spiritual leader here in this beautiful place. I missed you guys. I flew out last week early, and while we did have chapel service there, it's not the same when you don't have the heart connections and the relationships with people. That's really what community is all about, is those connections. So thank you. And I'm planning to talk more. I have a lot to talk about in the upcoming week, so a lot to say. Anyway, so if we'll join with me as we do our opening affirmation. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good. This is Unity's main principle, is we believe in one power, one presence, and one God, all for our good. And then I've invited Marilyn to come up and do the daily word. Marilyn.
With an open heart and mind, I need divine guidance. If I am feeling lost or do not know which way to turn, I take comfort in knowing I can pray and bring my awareness to my connection with God. Wherever I am on my spiritual journey, I receive divine guidance continually, and it is up to me to heed it. Divine guidance does little good if I doubt or feel too hesitant to act upon it. I commit to remaining open and receptive as I receive my guidance. Even if the call of my heart surprises me, even if I doubt I can do what I'm being called to do, I still trust the still, small voice within. I affirm, I am divinely guided and faith-filled. Isaiah 58:11 says, "The Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your needs in parched places and make your bones strong. And you shall be like a watered garden, like a spring of water, whose waters never fail."
Thank you, Marilyn. Divine guidance. I'm looking about, and I don't see any first-time guests here today, so we'll move past that. And now's our opportunity to stand up and greet our neighbor, and if we'll just take a few moments to do that.
Everybody wants to. pillow talk.
I have forgotten about that one. That was one of more recent ones.
Well, not really.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't like the old, Sunshine on Your Shoulder
right, yeah.
era, but yeah.
It was after we left Andy.
Change, do you see? Change in the heart of me. Renew me from the inside out. Renew me till there is no doubt. Change, do you see? Change in the heart of me. Renew me from the inside out. Renew me till there is no doubt. I don't wanna be the same. I don't wanna play the same old games. I'd rather be transformed totally by you, my God. I don't wanna be the same. I don't wanna play the same old games. I'd rather be transformed by you, my God. Change, do you see? To change in the heart of me. Renew me from the inside out. Renew me till there is no doubt. Change, do you see? To change in the heart of me. Renew me from the inside out. Renew me till there is no doubt. I don't wanna be the same. I don't wanna play the same old games. I'd rather be transformed. I totally by you, my God. I don't wanna be the same. I don't wanna play the same old games. I'd rather be transformed. I'd rather be transformed. I'd rather be transformed by you, my God.
Yeah.
Change.
They're woke up now.
We went and saw Mamma Mia last night. And I wasn't sure, just got back into town and I was a little tired. But Julie's like, well, we got the tickets, so let's go. Oh my gosh, top 5 of all was that. We had so much fun. And this song kind of reminds me of that kind of vibe. So I had to say. Yeah, it does. Anyways, if you have today's the last day. If you have a chance to go see it, it is really good. You're going today? Oh, you'll love it. I looked around. I didn't realize it was so much of a gals play, because it was probably the ratio was like 10 women to 1 guy in the thing. Yeah. But I was up singing and dancing at the end because they had kind of like a little concert thing. So highly recommend it. All right, sorry to digress. Trying to make some connections here. So Danna is going to be talking today. Her title is Toto. We're not in Kansas anymore, and we're not. We're in Spokane, Washington. I'm looking forward to Danna's talk. I'm really grateful for Danna because I had planned on giving a talk today, and Danna's like, no, you can't just come back from that and giving a talk. So she says, let me give the talk, and so I was very grateful. I'm very grateful for Danna. I just want to say that in front of you all in this transition of coming into ministry and having somebody that is so entrenched. And I'm going to tell you, highly respected. There was probably 4 or 5 people that came up to me when they realized I was in Spokane and like, Danna, you know Danna? I went to this class with Danna and I graduated with Danna. So anyways, you're very well respected among your peers. And I'm just so grateful for you and helping. We had a lot of talks prior to this opportunity coming up. And Danna, yeah, she's just been an amazing person to have beside walking this with me. So I really appreciate you. So, Danna, you're going to do our meditation.
Yeah, I am doing the meditation, yes. If I can find it. Okay, am I on here? Can you hear me okay? Okay. So let's just take a pause. Just feel yourself breathing in and exhaling slowly. We take this time away. So imagine that you are breathing in this new day. See yourself in a still setting amongst a group of trees as we just continue to breathe. You are breathing in the same air, the oxygen that they are exhaling. So you are in a symbiotic relationship with these trees. It's a comfortable surrounding, a place where you've been numerous times. Maybe it's on family property or a favorite spot in a nearby grove or forest. You can feel the moisture in the air. You can notice the woody smell that seems to permeate this forest. What type of tree do you envision in your personal hermitage? Are they deciduous or coniferous? Are there flowers budding? Any noticeable fruit? Are there birds nesting or squirrels racing across the branches? Just allow yourself to listen to the stirring of the branches, the gentle and inviting rustling sound that seems to whisper, "Stay a while." Consider what qualities we could learn from these trees. To stand tall, to be flexible, and to bow often. Notice how deeply the roots of the tree are grounded and how freely they share their shade and their fruit. Like these trees, see yourself firmly anchored, firmly immersed in that which nourishes you and offers you support. Notice the light that is filtering through the trees, scattering shimmering light across your path. You too have come into this world to offer safe refuge, a quiet resting place, to move slow and easy, to be filled with light, and to shine. Feel the sense of abundance emanating from these trees. Take it all in. As you continue to breathe in the very air they provide for you. This is the circle of life. The life which you emanate belongs here, just like these trees. And your light is welcome. See yourself as though you are illuminated from within, shining out to a world of darkness. This is why you're here, your true purpose. Let yourself shine. And what a blessing you are. And we say thank you, God, and amen. Okay, Toto, we are not in Kansas anymore. It was so funny, I came up with that title when Jeff was in Kansas. But as you know from the story, the Oz story, it's really about this startling realization that came to Dorothy from her tornado experience, which radically shifted her world. In her journey on the yellow brick road, she and her companions were able to reclaim the aspects of themselves that had been forgotten. The heart, their courage, their sense of home. But of course they had them all along. So really this is very similar to our story. We come into this world as young babies. We come in fully spirited, and yet we soon forget from the conditioning of the world who we really are. We take on false perceptions, misperceptions. We hear messages that teach us that we are less than whole, that teach us that we are less than perfect, we're maybe not good enough, or maybe not as good as. And all these messages, while mostly well-intended, land on these young minds into a mythical creature to inform us of that which is not really true. So really, if we're not in Kansas anymore, where are we? Well, it really depends, because we each have different worldviews. We come into this world, and depending on where we came from, what has gone well or what has gone wrong in our life, in the world, what personal power we have to change those things, especially our tendency towards duality thinking, the right or wrong, the good, the bad, the Democrats, the Republicans. You know, the more we think that those things are diametrically opposed to each other, the more confused we get. And that land in which we dwell becomes a foreign land indeed. Could leave us with many people feeling unheard, feeling powerless, and we need to change this thinking. The uncertainty we are experiencing is real, but it's not unprecedented. The world we live in right now, what's happening in our world right now is not unprecedented. There is no crystal ball, there's no benevolent being in the sky that's going to come down and smooth it all out. We need to be willing to question all of our ideas, beliefs, our mindsets, our narratives, our stories and ideologies that influence us, and to release the definitions and expectations that we have taken on that limit us in any way. So we come into life and we develop a personality that helps us navigate the landmines or to maximize our pleasure, our rewards. So we try to create these little young minds, we try to create a safe beingness, a safe personality where we can become what the world wants us to be. And we can all probably relate to when you're in this younger state, you kind of want to be just like everyone else. You want to fit in, And then when you reach into adulthood, you find out, well, that's not the winningest strategy, is it? Now we want to shine. We want to show our own strengths. But we never really find this balance point where we understand that we really are not in competition with everyone in the world. And the fact that you did not get an A in speech class does not mean that you cannot talk in public. Some of us take on these ideas about who we are when we were very young, and we fail to hit the refresh button or to change the batteries, right? So eventually, some of us are lucky, we have this spiritual awakening. The things that help us to awaken are this mirror of life that we are in. Life is really a mirror. So it's a two-way mirror, and the mirror is showing you how someone acts towards you, which is a reflection of them. And then you get to choose how, in turn, you react towards them, which is a reflection of you. So once we know who we really are, we want to pay attention to that, look closely to that, and are we really reflecting that person who we truly are inspired by, that person that we truly believe that we are, or who do we even truly believe that we are? So in a spiritual journey, we do want to remind ourselves that we are the ones who talk to ourselves more than anyone else. And so we really need to pay attention to that which we are, those thoughts, those ideas which we are holding on to, and those words which we are telling ourselves. Engaging in radical self-care. So uncovering the mask is really an iterative process. It's kind of like peeling an onion. It starts out really crumbly and dry, and it kind of falls away easily. And then it gets into the more moist layers, and you start to have some tears perhaps. And then it's a little harder to pull it away. So we have these broken parts in ourselves that we have judged, and we have hidden them very cleverly in places where even we don't necessarily know when they're going to come up. But all of these things happen in a way that allows us to heal. That is the purpose of peeling back this mask, is to heal those broken places and to reclaim them and to forgive ourselves for all those ways that we've been judging ourselves. So in unity teaching, really, this is really the third principle of unity, is that we believe that we are really responsible for ourselves. We are responsible for our life experiences. And we do have the opportunity to align those life experiences with the God of our inner nature, the God of our beings. We have the opportunity to allow ourselves to be informed by spirit. And those times when we choose not to follow that guidance, we might feel a little tripped up, right? We might get a little emotional. We might be a little out of control. And then we have a tendency to shame and blame and to dribble all over our little merciless feelings all over the world. So I have a quote that I found in a Paul Ferrini book. I'm going to read this. Paul Ferrini has written this, Love Without Conditions. It's really the truth about who we are. Okay, so when you feel that someone is questioning your self-worth, has anybody ever felt that? When you feel that someone is questioning your self-worth, you will be ready to pull the trigger. This whole scene of guilt and retribution is happening only in your own mind. If you project it, you will bring others into it, and you will need to work it out together. Working something out with another when you are not aware of your own complicity in the event is unlikely. So you will find that self-forgiveness is necessary. Without self-forgiveness, there is no release from guilt. As long as you are blaming someone else for your problems, You are refusing to offer forgiveness to yourself. So anytime we have those feelings come up is an opportunity for us to really dig in deeper, to understand, where am I feeling guilty, or where am I projecting guilt out? And to really release those feelings. It's not that we are never going to feel anger. Anger also is a useful emotion, but it's how we use that anger to communicate, how we inform our world in that situation in a way that is whole for yourself and for the other person or people involved. So we want to engage in radical self-acceptance. That is how we return to wholeness. By becoming more aware of your self-talk or your mental commentary about yourself and your life, we cultivate an active inner life and honor what most matters to us, and we begin to trust our inner guidance and spiritual intuition. As we then discard the mask, we become a more real, authentic, and human person, inhabiting our own uniqueness and expressing it freely. This is really why we're here. We all desire to return to our original home, to wholeness, to our higher selves. This can be like peeling an onion, as I already talked about, taking time to responsibly address the root causes of your inner feelings, your inner suffering, unhappiness, and disharmony. So in my own life, I have an example of this. When I was a very young child, I have a vivid memory. I was just about to have a birthday. I was going to turn 5. And I remember I was just super over the moon excited about my birthday party. And I was expressing that to my mother one day. And she just said, well, what are you so excited about? What about your birthday is that you're really looking forward to? And I said, well, everybody's going to buy me presents. I was really proud of that fact. And she was horrified. And I think that, very intentional about teaching me that this selfishness was inappropriate, but she chose to do it in a very, very shameful way. And so every year after that, I hated having a birthday because I did not trust my own reaction to gifts. I did not trust that it was safe to express that joy, or it was safe to accept those gifts. And so it wasn't until much, much, much later, and I noticed that, so when I would have a birthday, it was my joy to throw a party for somebody else who's maybe having a birthday or having an anniversary at that time. Or it was really something, also a pattern of mine, that I would pick a fight with my husband about that time because I didn't want to feel even worthy of receiving a gift. This is like a spider web that I've kind of like over a period of a long time, I've noticed these patterns. And when I recall, I have relived that instant with my mother. I can picture the room we were in. I can picture where I was sitting in that room. I can, it was like a house that I grew up in. And I can picture even the look on her face and that shame on you. And so I'm not trying to blame my mother for my experience, but the richness that I had when I realized where that was coming from, and that, oh, by golly, my mother's not even alive anymore, right? And oh, by golly, I don't have to hold on to that sense of shame. I still don't really like getting gifts, I have to say that, but when I turned 50, I threw a big party for myself. And a friend, for those of you who probably remember Jim Templeton, who was our musician at that time, he had his friends who were all in a band together. They came and played at my party. And I set an expectation at the beginning of the night that every man in the room was going to dance with me. And I think the only one that didn't dance with me was my husband. My son danced with me, and he was so embarrassed. But anyway, I couldn't find my husband when he was the one on my dance card next. But anyway, I took great joy in releasing that, and I think I still kind of struggle around my birthday. It's not my favorite day of the year, perhaps. And part of that is that, we're supposed to be humble, that whole trip that we play on ourselves. But actually, I am much more able to receive gifts, and I like the gift that I got this morning from Jeff. I loved that expression that you gave to me. I loved the sincerity, and I loved even my imagination that took me to, I bet that Sue was one of those people. I know Barbara was one of those people. Who else might he have been talking to? So when I was at Unity Village, I was fortunate and unfortunate that when I was taking the licensed teacher training, we actually had to go to the village. That's where the classes were. And so 2 or 3 times a year, I'm spending a week back there. And I now call it, I love Lucyville, because after being a week in this very surreal place, it's like your brain does not function the same. And it's like you're kind of like not even walking on even ground. It's very similar to when I go in prison, but in a very different way. In the prison, it's that way too. You have no idea what you did, where you put your ID, or where you put your purse, and it's like all the rules and everything in prison just make you feel this frenzy. Very similar. Okay, so we want to return to wholeness. We must reclaim ourselves, our original, curious, and open-heartedness. We must be willing to be honest with ourselves, to notice those times when we get tripped over what someone else has says or does. It might just even be a glance, right? It might just be a curious look that someone has, and now you're thinking, that person just doesn't like me. So we need to release those habits, of our possessions, or any people that keep us stuck. So why is this so important? Well, as I said to begin with, we're not in Kansas anymore. The place that we are in right now is a very divided world. The place that we are in right now is trying to convince us that half of our country are our enemies and half of our country is our allies. And we think that there really is this demonic presence in the White House right now, right? And we think that there's some evil plan. There is no evil plan. There is only what is in our minds. Our experiences are created by our thoughts. And so us holding on to the positive things, us holding on to the belief that there is common ground with every single person in our country, us holding on the belief that we have the capacity to find that common ground with every single person in our country is the only reason for us even being here right now. So we really need to step up. We really need to lean in. If I have a D on my chest or an R on my chest, trust me, that D doesn't mean the same thing today as it maybe meant when I was a child. Though our political parties have changed over the years, but we seem to take that label from our youth, and we are not going to let go of it no matter what. That R doesn't mean the same thing that it meant what the Republican Party stood for, even a few years ago, because the world is changing. Just because most of religion doesn't ever change doesn't mean that we don't change, that we don't have to respond to the change that's coming up. We have to be more on purpose now than ever, mostly because of the presence of the media, the presence of the talking heads 24 hours a day that are trying to tell us what we're supposed to believe. or where we're supposed to be afraid. And we can't allow that to dim our light. We cannot not be who we are. And this is a tremendous opportunity, a time of waking up, right? Of waking up the world. But first we have to wake up ourselves. So here are the 5 core practices that I'm really promoting. Radical self-awareness, deep self-acceptance, unlimited forgiveness, universal benevolence, and compassionate communication. It's like these are the 5 fingers on your hand. You can't have one finger without the other. We need to have that full force of our compassion, that full force of our honesty, of our own self-awareness, and our own ability to question everything, and to be really, ultimately, be really in tune with what's inside, with that spirit that is always available. So in conclusion, we each have an opportunity to be the light that the world requires right now. Be brave enough to start a conversation that matters. Share your stories and listen to others' stories. Talk to people you don't know. Be intrigued by the differences you hear. Expect to be surprised. Treasure curiosity more than certainty. Real listening always brings people close together. And real storytelling is an art that we need to claim and return to. Telling our stories is really unique to the human race. And if you are telling your story of your experience, there is no one that's going to challenge your experience. It is only a way to open the hearts of others to your experience. And that's how we learn from each other. We need to be eye to eye, face to face, sharing our stories, and then listening to hear the stories of others. And only then can we truly understand the breadth, the complexity, the ability of ourselves to connect to people who we perhaps don't even know. So be the light that the world requires right now. Thank you.
There are those who can live with the things they don't believe in. They are giving up their lives for something that is less than it can be. Some have longed for a home in a place of inspiration. Some will fill the emptiness inside by giving it all for the things that they believe. They believe. Maybe it's just a dream in me. Maybe it's just my style. Maybe it's just the freedom that I've found. But given the possibility of living up to the dream in me, you know that I'll be reaching for higher ground. I will stand on my own. I will live up to this vision. I will trust in what I feel inside and follow my heart until it brings me home, brings me home. Maybe it's just a dream in me. Maybe it's just my style. Maybe it's just this freedom that I've found. But given the possibility of living up to the dream in me, you know that I'll be reaching for higher ground. Keep me through the night, lead me to the light, teach me the magic of wonder, give me the spirit to fly. Maybe it's just the dream in me. Maybe it's just my style. Maybe it's just this freedom that I've found. But given the possibility of living up to the dream in me, you know that I'll be reaching for higher ground.
Nice.
Wow. Nikki, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. Sandra, Chris, thank you. Well, you always say to me, young man, and now I'm going to say to you, young lady, very well done. And it leads into this book study that we're going to be doing, which I'll be talking about in the announcements. But it's interesting how we develop these limiting beliefs, and sometimes we don't even know where they come from. And we can just continue to go through life with them and then be limited in what our capabilities are. Or when we bump up against them, we can ask the question, why? Why is this happening? John and I have had conversations, my buddy John, and I just want to share this because it bumped up against a limiting belief that I'm anxious to find out where it came from. And that was, I was doing some stuff at home, and John messaged me and said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm working on the fence." And he's like, "You want some help?" And my first response was, "No, I don't need any help." And it wasn't that I didn't need the help, and it wasn't that I didn't want to spend time with him. It was that it was difficult for me to receive. I can give. If any of you call me at any given time, I will be there to help you. But if you offer to help me, I'm going to find a way out of it. Because there's something inside of me, and I don't know where it's coming from, that makes it difficult for me to receive. And what you had said in your talk, and then also some of these other things that we're going to be doing in healing that inner child inside of us, is where do these things come from? Because there are things that happen to us that we have no idea how they've affected us. So thank you for opening the door. I did not know what your talk was, other than just the fact that it was not in Kansas anymore. And so, and I had planned of talking about this book in the book study, and I thought, I'm sitting here going, oh, divine synchronicity again, never should doubt. And then Nikki, in your song today, thank you so much. As we move into our time of our giving, I want to change the language a little bit, in that when we talk about the time of giving, I see it sometimes listed as a donation. It's time for our donations. And to me, a donation seems to be something that you do when you feel something tugged at your heart, but you just, you're at the grocery store. Do you want to round up and give, the extra to this? Or do you want to do that? Or do you want to go to the pet store and do you want to give an extra $1 for here? That's a donation. But I feel like there are things that we're doing here and the things that we want to do in our community. And I'll talk more about that next week when I talk about the state of unity and that sort of thing. But where I'm going with this is I believe that we have the opportunity to move from looking at a place that we're donating to where a place that we're serving. And we're serving this because it's part of something that we're doing for the greater good. And that greater good, not just here, but in the greater good that extends beyond these walls. And so, and the limiting beliefs we have in that. I was having a conversation at the conference with a man, and I was telling him about our property and the things that we were looking to do. And they were doing something completely different in Baston, and we were doing something different here. And I said, well, when the day comes, if we have this, and he stopped me mid-sentence. He goes, it's not if, it's when. And I realized, like, I'm still programmed to keep saying if. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it happens. And maybe it doesn't happen this month, this year, this lifetime, but we have to believe that these things will happen. Just as it relates to our world, our country, our community, this center. And so I say that in that when we change the language in which we see things, and I would like to move forward if we can, Wendy and whoever else is doing stuff, is that we take the word donation out of anything that we talk about as it relates to the center and recognize this is a place that we give because we're going to be doing greater good. And so anyways, I say that, and coming up to the time of our tithes and our offerings, it's an offering to God, it's an offering to the greater good. And so we all give from other parts of our life, whether it be our talents, our treasures, and our time, talent, and treasure. And so, anyways, with that said, we move into our time of offerings. And so, with this, we recognize that our giving with intention creates an energetic flow through your mind and heart, creating more abundance for both the recipient and the giver. And the exchange is an energetic thing. And so we recognize that is an exchange. Again, whether it be our time, our talent, and our treasure. So with that, I ask ushers to do our offering, please. Okay, together our blessing, divine love in, through, and as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you. And just to finish the story of John, I accepted, I said, come on over. He came over and he helped me, and I actually shared with him that my struggle of receiving, and he's just been such a great friend. Okay, now we move to Unity Statement of Peace. I want to say a little bit about this because this is going to tail into sacred conversations that we have today. And so this statement was something that was put together by Gary Simmons a few years ago during the as I understand the story, during the first Iraq War. Gary drafted this statement of peace and sent it to Unity, and they adopted it, and this is Unity's statement of peace. And South Hill does an abbreviated version of this peace statement, but other unities throughout the country utilize this peace statement. And I just want you to think about it as we read it together. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, and the many ways to worship God. And there is one power and one presence of God, and that God loves each one of us equally. It is therefore the position of Unity to urge all nations and their leaders and their people to turn to God by whatever the name for guidance during these challenging times, and to pursue peace, for this is what honors the God of all faith traditions. I share this statement anytime somebody asks me, what is unity? Who is Unity? And I'm sorry, I'm just digressing here, but I think it's when people want to know who Unity is, this is who Unity is. We stand for peace in the presence of conflict. We stand for love in the presence of hatred. Now, what does that mean in a divided world? It means we stand for peace. It means we stand for love. And when we have these conflicts, we stand on peace. So what does that look like? I don't know. Let's you and I figure it out. What does it mean in forgiveness? I don't know. Let's you and I figure it out. There is a proposal right now to make a new statement that even goes even deeper than this. In my opinion, it's too political. It's not done by Unity. It's Unity Worldwide Ministries. It's done by someone else. And in my opinion, it transitions way too political and will create division. It is my belief. My belief is we don't need anything more than this statement. And if we want to do more for what's going on today, then let's talk about how we can create peace. We did a meditation here a couple of weeks ago, and that meditation on Wednesday was on peace. And we visualized peace as it related to our own self and how that peace could radiate and go out into our community, into our state, into the country. And at that time, we were visualizing that peace going into Southern California for the conflicts that they were having. That's our armament. If we truly believe what we say and what we do and what we're about, that's all we need. We don't need to come up with a long statement and chastising that and chastising this. If we truly believe in peace, then let's personify peace, and let's do that. So where I'm going with this is I would like to talk about that in our sacred conversations today after lunch. So what we do, I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here, Byron, as it relates to the announcements, But after we have a snack, we're going to do a lunch. We have pizza and some salad. We're going to have lunch, and we're going to spend a little time socializing. And then after that, at 2 o'clock, we actually go in and have conscious conversation about a sacred conversation. And this is what I would like to talk about, is what can we do more of? And not get political, but what can we do based upon these beliefs that we have? So that's a little thing into this afternoon. Our chaplain today, I have chaplains today. One of the things that an idea that I had at conference was they have ministers of record in churches, in ministry, in unity ministries throughout the country. They have ministers of record. So if you're actually in Fresno, California, where I was from, they had Rachel Simpson was the minister of record. So that means that they talked to Rachel. Well, I said, why don't we have a chaplain of record? Because we don't have a chaplain here, right? So the powers that be said, that's a great idea. And Barbara Thorpe, if any of you know who Barbara is, but she's from the west side, the wet side of the state. And she says, I'll be your chaplain of record. So Barbara Thorpe is going to be our chaplain of record, which means that Barbara will receive the prayer requests that we have. She will pray over. And if you know Barbara, she spends like an hour every morning in meditation and prayer. She's amazing. She shared with me that, was talking about dog stories, she shared with me that her dog comes and sits on her lap, and she reads the daily word. The dog waits for the daily word. She reads the daily word, and then the dog lays down as she goes into meditation. It's pretty cool. But anyways, Barbara Thorpe is going to be our chaplain of record here, and until such time that we get our own chaplain. So that's our chaplains. Now let's talk about announcements. So we have Sacred Support Circle today, I should say, from 2 to 4. And it's been Julie and I and John and Nancy. Chris, there was a bunch of us a few weeks ago that were here. We met outside, which was really nice. But you guys are welcome to stay or come back. But we'll have conversation about that today. We do that on the second and fourth Sunday of every month. And then weekly meditation. Danna covered this week for meditation, and I believe I'm on this week, right, for meditation. And so that'll be Wednesday at 6 p.m. And what else we have up there, Byron? We had the baseball game. Okay, so I don't have a slide for this, but I'm plugging this book. We're going to do this book. This book is called Homecoming, and this book it's about reclaiming and healing your inner child. This book was recommended by Dwayne and Emma Broyles. And I started reading it. I didn't get very far, but I know I've done some other research about this gentleman and the work that he does, and it's pretty incredible about healing the inner child. Healing the inner child. My idea, and I'm going to put this out, and those of you online, please send me an email. Let me know what you think. But my thought is that on a Sunday, we'll do like 4 weeks, and we will meet after service, we'll eat, and then after that, we'll go right into doing the book study so that we can take care of, like, do it while we're here rather than leaving and coming back on another day or something like that. Let me know what you think of that idea. Otherwise, we got to look at doing it on a Monday night or a Tuesday or whatever. But this book, from what I've read so far, and what I hear about it is amazing. And we all have wounds in our life from our inner child. And this is an opportunity for us to do that. Really good stuff from this. And then that's it. So now we go to check off the list here. Oh, and I want to say something about kids too. We have Mason is here today. Mason's out with Katie, Captain Katie. And by the way, I heard the song. I haven't seen the video, but wow, that is, yeah. Nicole did a song for Katie. It's called Captain Katie, and it's all about Katie and what she does out there. And Julie and I were talking. We're like, okay, we got to get the video, and we got to show it to everybody on a Sunday, so expect that to come. But I do want to say about the children's ministry. I miss kids. I miss seeing the kids come in. And in listening to some of the other ministries, there are other centers that have gone through what we've gone through with children. And that is not having children for a while. And like, how do we get families in here? And so there's some ideas on that. But I want us to pray, and at this time in each service, hold intention for the Mason and for other children that are there that are looking for a place to come and be a part. So, do we have, Byron, do you have the children? I know you don't have it, the slide brought up, because we're not there, but let's remember our children's blessing. And I'm trying to remember, there's two different ones that we use, but be the love. Let's see, here we go. Let's do it this way. For the children out in the world, in our community, be the love you are, sing the song you hear, share your joy of life with people far and near. And may we be the people that are near. All right, now it's time for peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin
All right, and our prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And that's the truth.
Okay.
Throw a little love around. Watch what happens wherever you go. Throw a little love around. You'll see changes fast and slow. Throw a little love around. Happiness will follow you. You'll see happy folks set free. Love will grow in you and me. Joy, fun, and peace abound. Just throw a little love around. Hey there, you, I'm talking to you. Where do you think you'll go? Why, it's love I'm speaking of. And yes, it should be flowing. We've got time to share this rhyme. Start your singing now. You don't know how this should go. Let me show you how. Throw a little love around. Watch what happens wherever you go. Throw a little love around. You'll see changes fast and slow. Throw a little love around. Happiness will follow you. You'll see happy folks set free. Love will grow in you and me. Joy, around. Throw a little love around. It's up to you and it's up to me to set this loving spirit free. Let's take